yet another one. Actually, I should edit the description of the meeting. That it's edition number 3, and it's 13th of October. And now it all should be up to date. Um, 13th of October, you probably depends where you're from. For some of you, 13th might seem like a not very lucky day, but for me, it was always super lucky because I was born on 13th, not of October, but still counts. And I was born on 13th of like on Friday. Um, but yeah, so far I'm lucky. Um, but yeah, before we jump into specific topic, let us give people some time to join and start watching. If you already joined, and I see at least one person, I think, watching us, watching me, uh, please write something in the chat so I can see you're actually listening. In the meantime, I'm gonna test as usual if um, the stream goes with really good quality to some social media. Today, I'm gonna check Twitter. So in the meantime, just please say hello. Hey, Sergio, ¿cómo está? Huh? My Spanish is getting better. Um, okay, cool. So the I can see at least on Twitter, sound is good, quality is also super good. I think. But yeah, I mean, so Sergio, um, definitely I can give you some training. Of course, by default, unfortunately, Polish people learn bad Polish words. But if you ask explicitly, I can skip that part. Um, okay, I see two people. Barbaño, hey Barbaño, good morning. So it's the beginning of the meeting. So let me start with advertisement. Like you already probably noticed, um, we have at the bottom logos of companies that decided to become a platinum sponsors for AsyncAPI hackathon and conference. If you recall from the last week, the first stream I did on Wednesday, there was just one logo of IBM. And now, as you can see, we have 4 logos already. So thanks a lot to IBM, Abli, WSO2, and Solus for becoming a platinum sponsors for the event. Um, I can assure you that your money will be spent very well on the community and advertisement of AsyncAPI initiative. So in the end, the community will benefit from the money. Thanks a lot. Um, I'm not gonna jump into any specific topic. Let's maybe chit chat a bit. And yes, uh, there's also a thank you from Sergio. And yeah, hey Dave, morning. So some maybe additional information. So if you're watching the recording of this stream, we had a community meeting yesterday, and as a result of some discussions there about contributions to AsyncAPI, today the afternoon session of contributor first meeting will be specifically about the GLI project and the Modelina project. that we host at AsyncAPI. I will be here together live with Jonas Lagoni from AsyncAPI project, and we're gonna chit chat about the Glee project and Modelina project, um, but from the contributor perspective, like how to contribute. So basically, understand the vision of both projects, and then the the points where help is needed. So yeah, feel invited, and I'm gonna share again. I'm doing it quite often, but yeah, um, please have a look on the. Oh, okay, I sent it as a Restream.io, but yeah, in Twitch and YouTube, unfortunately, it's not possible on Twitter and LinkedIn. But yeah, on Twitch and YouTube channels, you should see a comment with the link to Async API calendar that you can access and see all the Async API meetings and the schedule for them. Now, yeah, mm, maybe let's do some work now. I'm gonna start sharing screen unless somebody has some questions already. Like I see a fourth person joined the stream. Please say hello. Um, so far, it's always people on YouTube. Interesting. So we are streaming to different platforms, but always most engaging people are on YouTube. Um, I guess it's just a fun fact, not something useful. So yeah, so let me share the screen. Let me stop sharing for a sec. I need to do one more thing. I need to turn off Slack so it's not disturbing during the session. Okay, let's try again. Hey, another viewer on YouTube. Awesome. So I'm gonna turn off the information about the conference for now because it's of course covering the screen and hide the overlays. Um, so I mean, unless so the like the contributor first meeting is for contributors, but I assume that not always we're gonna have a contributors here asking specific questions. Um, so in the meantime, when there are no questions, I just do some work openly. And but whenever you have some questions, just feel free to put them in the chat, um, and I'll try to answer them live here. So I'm monitoring chat all the time. Um, but yeah, in the meantime, I just want to continue working on this stuff that I started last week on the stream. So to give you some context to folks that just joined, um, let's we in November we have a conference, right? And the first day of the conference is a contributor summit. And the idea of contributor summit is to have sessions for people that just joined Async API initiative and like to contribute, and it's like purely for folks that want to contribute to Async API. Um, and for us, it's important to have this like one day dedicated for contributors because, yeah, like we see how the community is growing um, pretty fast, and to scale properly, we need more people working on the project. So we're doing everything possible that to enable folks to join us, and that's what the contributor summit is for. So you can definitely suggest your topics and like say what parts are the most interesting for you to have on the contributor summit. And if there are no questions from your side, I'm just going to continue working on like brainstorm on the contributor journey to become Async API TSC member presentation. But yes, as I said, like if you have some specific questions, just put them in a chat. I really can do this stuff offline, and more important is to support you. Okay, so what we covered last time was the that we like to to talk about the journey to become a Async API technical steering committee member. First, people need to understand the open governance model that we have here. So basically, the origin of technical steering committee um, group and the idea for it. Now, and I think we covered everything. So we covered the intro about the Linux Foundation, the vision of the governance model, and the TSC setup. All the important details, I think. So, I mean, some of you were with me on the stream. Not sure if you remember. If I don't remember and I was creating it, then probably you also. But anyway, just let me know. I can go back to open governance, but I'm pretty sure we covered everything. And by the way, I noticed that we have first Twitch user, Sovik. Hey man, thanks for joining on another channel. Okay, so once you know what it means to be a technical steering committee member and you understand the governance model, now you really need to know how to. And now I'm thinking like, should we really go directly into start contributing? Because there are two ways, right? There are two ways to technical steering committee. So one is the path of a contributor and then committer, which means like basically you start contributing to some project, then you basically showcase that you know the project well enough to become a maintainer of the project, and then automatically you become a technical steering committee member. But then that's this path, right? So you start contributing and then you become a maintainer. But that's just one path. The other path is you basically donate the project that you worked on. You have it in your private profile somewhere, somewhere on GitHub. You want to donate it, like move it to Async API organization, and therefore you still want to, of course, maintain the project, and therefore you become automatically a technical steering committee member because you come as a maintainer already, maintainer of the project. Now, and that's why I think it's before going into the presentation, before going into details of like how to start contributing and and then become a maintainer. um, Maybe better explain these two different paths, like in general, like draw a general idea. Because when I look openAsyncAPI.com and go to the current list of technical steering committee members, like when you take a look on the current list, in many cases, folks that ended up here as maintainers were actually like maintaining their own projects. Um, so, for example, Maciek, like the the way how he got into Async API and the way how he became a maintainer in first repo was that the Async API React component was first developed, like started engaged by SAP a few years ago, and Maciej was working there and he was developing the project, and then the project was moved under Async API, and therefore he automatically became also a maintainer of the component. So he was already in the project as a maintainer. Like he did not went through a path of slowly contributing and then becoming maintainer, but he was really like he came as a maintainer um, together with the project. And the same with Pavel and Jason Guppy and like with all the folks that came through Google Summer of Code, like Kuda, Ace, Arjun, Ayush. Um, you basically, yeah, you folks also had like the same story. Of course, you did not bring the project, but you started it at Async API. Like you wrote it from scratch. Um, so you basically became a maintainer. But then there's a path of Sovik, like that we have on Twitch, and Sovik became a maintainer of CLI through contributions. Like after contributing few features, Sovik became the regular maintainer. So there are those two paths that I think that we need to first introduce. And now, like, did you listen to me? Like, what's your thoughts? Um, Agree, disagree? In the meantime, let me get some power pack. Okay, so you were not listening, which is fine, which is totally fine. Um, but silence means you agree. So let us add a node. Okay, maybe that's this node already. Like become a maintainer, because that's what people will learn from open governance explanation and TSC. Like who is becoming TSC member and the maintainer. So next point to know is, yeah. I can share recording before the conference if you want as well, because at the end, like all the talks at the conference, they will be pre-recorded and streamed. Um, unless we come up with some live discussion idea, but so far no CFP for that. But yeah, become a maintainer. Um, now, of course, I remember like last time I struggled with this UI trying to learn how to add new nodes, but let's see if it's just with this plus. Okay, cool. Um, so become a maintainer. So I would call it contributor path. So a path of person that contributes first and then becomes a maintainer. And and here I'm not sure how to call it. Like I need help because like my first idea comes like donor path because you donate a project, but I know donor means many different things, and it's probably not the best name. Um, maybe there's um, yeah, I forgot to. I mean, I'm laughing and reading comments, but people watching on different media probably don't see them. So let me display. Sorry for that. Still learning. So we have first the comment that I commented about seeing the presentation at the conference. Yeah. Just go to the contributor summit discussion. I'm gonna paste the link. I'm gonna paste the link in the chat. This time using. No, I still have to use Restream, I think. Yeah, I just pasted the link in Twitch and YouTube to the GitHub discussion where we discussed the agenda for the contributor summit. So feel free really to upvote the talks that you like to see and also suggest. If you suggest a topic, it doesn't mean you actually have to present it. You can also just suggest a topic, and maybe we will find someone who can present it. And but we also look for speakers like contributors or maintainers that would like to share their story. Now, just going back to the comment from Sergio, which made me smile. Because I was saying that nobody's listening, probably, but then now we know why. It's like I'm somewhere in your head and you don't know how to block me. And now, yeah, the most important, like this donor path. And yeah, like donor path is not that bad actually. Yeah, I don't know. Because like like it clearly covers the use case where you become a donor because you really donated the project. But what in case of folks like Ace or Kuda or Ayush or Aryan, like or Nectarios, like these guys, they technically did not donate the project, but on the other hand, they also did not. I mean, to become the maintainers, that they actually had to contribute the project first through a pull request, and then several follow-up pull requests, and we actually made them code owners at the end of the project once we had a first like initial release. Then they are actually a fit for a contributor path. Okay. On path sounds good. Thank you, Sergio. Okay, so I think we have it. Um, so that would be just short intro. We have a become a maintainer contributor path, and I have not much to add here. So basically, saying that you first contribute, and then existing maintainers make you a maintainer in the project. And in case of project donor path, I just quickly explain like what does it mean that you donate a project. And I don't think I have to add it here, but I guess it would be super nice if I like now I did that I explained it basing on a real user stories, like uh, real stories of the existing TSC members, like what it really means, and how it worked for a specific member of the community. So there's a question from Sergio. Um, you definitely have to explain it for me what you mean, like bootstrapper path. So, oh, excuse me. And yeah, I guess we have some delay between audio because Ace, like other Google Summer of Code members, he worked on a project from scratch and then became a code owner. Um, Give me a sec because my dog is barking pretty loud. Uno momento, I'm gonna mute myself. A package delivery just came in. Okay, I'm back. So the some clarification from Sergio. Um, um, okay, so now I get it. So, but now is it? Do we have to differentiate this as a like a third path? Um, or as I said, like it's at the end contributor path. Um, like like for example, like yesterday, we had on our community call. I think the name of the person was Daven, and he said that he was thinking about contributing some code generators using Vertex, for example, and and he could do it in two different ways. We don't have any specific rules here, so he could either write the project from scratch on his private profile and then donate it. But on the other hand, he could also like agree with us that he wants to work on it, and we would create a repo for him and just give him time and space to contribute the code, which at the end might make more sense because then we can help from the very beginning, like review pull requests one by one and give some feedback. And it's a case of like, it's like in case of Anand, right? Like Anand, we did not create a dedicated repo for him, but he actually wrote the whole new Go template basically from scratch in the existing repo. So it's now, yeah. Is it a separate path or is it a contributor path? Or we should simply say in the contribute. Okay, so Sergio, Sergio, if you want, like, and for others, the stream, I mean, it's live streamed to some different social media, but if you wish, you can just let me know. I can invite you to, and we can talk live here. Um, it's live streamed to different media, so we enable like people also, if they're not feeling comfortable joining live, sharing screen and video and audio. That's why we have live stream, so you can engage through a chat. But if you wish to join me live, I'm all yours. Like, just let me know. I'm gonna figure out how to invite you. But yeah, sure. You mean Sergio? You wanna join? And delay. Ah, okay. So now let me figure out how to do it. I have some icon that presents a person and plus. Okay, it's a shareable link. Sergio, I'm gonna share a link with you on Slack. um, yes, Dave. So we had. Let me go back to the list of technical steering committee. We have Pavel. So Pavel had AsyncAPI had different name before, and he was working on this Java project um, on his own. But then he was getting more and more community, and there was a request from community that might be that his Java plugins for IntelliJ could be officially published under AsyncAPI name on the IntelliJ marketplace, whatever is the name. And yeah, uh, we invited Pavel to join the organization and then publish it as an official AsyncAPI project. So that's one. Um, the projects that Michael maintains, I don't remember if the templates were created somewhere out and then donated, or if we created repos in the org. So here I don't remember, but except of Pavel, like I said, like Maciej, when we worked together in at SAP, we also donated AsyncAPI React project. So it was like project was really moved. And the same with Emiliano, the PHP template. He also donated like to the. So he first created it outside and then moved to AsyncAPI. So yeah, we have mixed stories here, really. Okay, so I think Sergio joined me. So let me know.
Oh.
Sergio, can you hear me?
Hi.
Hey,
Hello.
hey,
Okay.
can you?
Yes.
Awesome. Can I mean, you don't have to share the video, but just letting you know that you don't do it. Okay.
Yes, now it works.
So, but before we jump into our discussion, let me answer a question from Dave, because Dave is asking when a project is donated, do the project have to follow a certain standard like CI/CD, README, etc.? Like, we don't have those standards written down, but yes, we like technically, um, that's what we like enforce, but it's not enforcement, I would say. CI/CD is an asset that you get when you join AsyncAPI. Um, so all the automation workflows that we have in place, they will be pushed to the new repo. But if you, the maintainer, don't want to use uh, GitHub Actions, you don't like them for some reason, you don't like our pipelines, you can easily disable our CI/CD and use your own, and it's completely fine. We have to be flexible here. It's just like we'll always say, like, why do you want to maintain your stuff if we maintain it for the whole org? But it's really up to the user. It depends how people. I mean, we don't want to change habits of people, as long as community is happy and they like their own tools, and they don't have issues that the specific project is deployed with Travis instead of GitHub Actions. I think it's totally fine. But yeah, I would say it's not that the project has to follow. It's like when you donate a project, you get um, some extra support from the whole organization. So the CI/CD. Also, we're gonna help you out with the README, of course, and yeah, you have like better access to the community. So that's the idea why we want to encourage people to donate. So we all work together in one org. Hope that makes sense. So, sorry, Sergio, for keeping you waiting.
It's fine.
Um, Welcome. Thanks for joining. So, we had this. Oh, wait, Dave is asking another question. Uh, um. Oh, yeah. 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 I mean, you're right. So basically, on this donor path, we definitely have to make sure we explain what you get. Benefits. Um, so that's obvious, I think. But no, I broke it. Okay. We really need to make it clear. Like, why would you donate? Not only to become TSC member, but you get other benefits for the project. Makes sense. Now, going back to contributor path and the discussion we had on in a chat on YouTube, um, about these two different paths of contribution. So, as a context for others, because some other people joined before we dive a deep dive into the discussion, um, to become a maintainer and also technical steering committee member, you have two paths. Like, for now, let's say we name them as two paths, like contributor path and a project donor path. Project donor path, it means you have your project already created for Async API, and you want to move it under Async API organization. That's the in simple words. And contributor path, there are two different paths. Like, you start as a contributor, like show that you regularly contribute to some specific project. You you show to other maintainers that you know how the project works, and therefore after some time they invite you basically to become a maintainer. And there's another path where you can start entire new project from scratch under AsyncAPI organization. Um, and yeah, work on the project with few PRs and until it's ready to be released. And then once we release it, you become a maintainer. And now, so Sergio, with Sergio, we had this lengthy exchange of discussion, like of ideas how to, if we should rather talk about three paths or contributor path with variations.
Yeah, my opinion on that is that um, as far as we make it clear, we can join both in contributor path. I It's my opinion. Why? I mean, I still see three paths there. Whenever I read contributor path, it's just contributing to existing projects. Maybe this is my brain that tells me, but I don't see the option. So something that I really like from I think API community is that you can propose new projects, even though they are could be small projects, but as far as they have some useful meaning behind, so you can create them, right? So this kind of freedom, it's not in all projects or in all organizations. So this is something that it's pretty cool on Async API. And maybe it makes sense to add this extra path to make more conscious or to make it more clear. But again, I would be happy if we include it in the contributor path, but we really say it somewhere, wherever we put this in the website or wherever, that you can feel free to create a new, to suggest a new project, to help others to create a project, or even to share your ideas and ask for help for creating this new project under a Sync API organization. That's the difference between this meaning of donating and project owner, right? So it is a contributor path element. I would say yes, but it could deserve its own path. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I got your point. I actually agree that, I mean, people, whenever they think about contributing and becoming a maintainer, it's usual thinking about like, yeah, you start small, you contribute, and then you're invited as a maintainer. That's like usually how people think about it. And I like how you emphasized that it's pretty cool that here we allow you also to start a new project from scratch, because I mean, I think we also talked about it yesterday during the public meeting that why would we block you? In the end, it's the community that will verify your work. So you can bootstrap any project, but if you're not gonna have users and you're gonna stop contributing anyway because you will not feel it makes sense, then the project will die on its own anyway. Um, and if you don't contribute further, you will anyway not be a TSC member any longer because of this. So, but now how to name it? Like how to name it? Because like bootstrapping path, it's for me bootstrap. It's like really you bootstrap something like you create a kind of scaffolding project. That's how I always understood bootstrapping scaffolding. For me, it's also always very similar. So it's not really writing a new project. It's like just setting a kind of skeleton for the project. That's how I always thought about bootstrapping. So I'm not sure if it's a good name.
Maybe just as simple as project creator path. I don't know.
Initiator.
Yeah, why not? I think it's just a way of making it clear. And the name maybe it doesn't matter that much.
Huh? No. So we have a usual contributor, initiator, and donor. So um, we explain in case of donor, we don't only talk about like you automatically become a maintainer and TSC member, but we also explain other benefits like CI/CD and support of the community. Cheers, Dave. Now the for the initiator path, for sure. Like, is there something explicit we need to highlight? You said like highlight that this freedom, right? Um, from idea to the project, or
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to write this down, but the way I see how we usually do things here in this path is that people can come to, I don't know, Slack and say, I have this idea of a project. What do you think? And people say, yeah, or I have tried once, or yeah, it's a good idea. Just go for it. Here is the repository. So maybe explaining, um, well, that we will give so somehow you have to explain what you want to do, and the org will provide with the repository and all the tooling they need.
so basically explain the initiation project, like
Yeah,
um,
maybe like what are the expected first version, something like this. So what is the, I don't like to say MVP because this is not a product, but like first version.
yeah. So the only challenge here is that we don't have it like really formalized yet. So
Maybe it's time to do it.
maybe it's actually time to do it. Um, and yeah, I mean, it really is time to do it, like because we're getting more and more projects, so we need to set some boundaries. And might be that this presentation will actually kick off the standardization process. Okay. So, but yeah, the most important here is to like make it clear, like the path from the beginning to the release, and the contributor path. Um, that's like the usual path, so it's pretty useful, pretty obvious, I think. Um, I mean, not obvious that I will not explain it, but I mean, it's pretty obvious like how to explain it. Now, then, um, so contributor path. So once I highlight this, I can go into like contributor path and like talk in details like how to start contributing. But before we jump into this, there's a question in the chat. Let me display it. A question from Ganesh. Hi, as a contributor in the context of Java, could someone help as to how can I start focusing? Is there something which needs to be picked up? There is. There definitely is. Um, so let me share a link. So there are few Java projects we have at the moment in AsyncAPI. The first one is the one that is maintained by Pavel. It's JSync API, JSync API, JSync API, um, which holds few different projects for Java to, like, yeah, to make it easier to use Async API, like generate Async API files from code or have an IntelliJ plugin. And as far as I know, it's pretty stable. I haven't talked to Pavel for some time. So if you're interested with some plugins in IntelliJ, you can freely just jump into the project, go into the issues, just create a new issue and propose if that's the project that is most interesting for you. Then Ganesh, I encourage you to go there. Now, if it comes to other Java projects where I see we need a lot of help, there are two things. Like we don't have any official Java parser yet. And in the group of the current maintainers, nobody's really thinking having it on the roadmap because we don't have too many Java experts here to push it forward. And it would be like super cool to finally have a async API parser not only in JavaScript but also in Java. But there's one existing project that requires lots of help. Java Java Spring template, and this Java Spring template, it's a code generator, so you can generate using Async API generator. Using this project, you can generate a Java application that uses Spring and can talk to Kafka and MQTT. And at the moment, we don't have any regular maintainer involved in the project. So it's we're rather just fixing bits and pieces when people jump in, but we don't have any regular maintainer here. So if if you know Spring, or even if you don't know Spring but you want to learn it and you'd like to become a maintainer in the project, then feel free to jump in here. The last maintainer, I haven't had contact with him for some time, 6 months already. But I can, if it's hard to onboard to the project without existing maintainer, I can try to contact Semen and get some help from him. But I definitely encourage you to like this is where we need help if it comes to Java. And Ganesh, feel free to ask some more questions. Okay, so 8 minutes left. Contributor path. So we definitely have to explain like first contribution. And I think what okay, so Sergio just wrote me a message that he had to disconnect from live stream, so I will turn off his preview because he had issues with the battery. So he's on watching us on YouTube. Thanks a lot, Sergio, for joining me. Um, so not sure how you think, but if I would come to Async API from outside and like I see many people coming into Slack and just saying like I want to help, um, and they don't really care much about a specific project. That, for example, they love Glee and they want to help in Glee. They just want to help. And when we're talking about first contribution, I think it would be nice to have some kind of I'm not sure even how to phrase it. It's a kind of a helper, like I'm not sure if it's UI or whatever or README um, that lists all the projects, like gives you an overview of the GitHub organization, like so we can see like what repos do we have, what languages are used where, um, the dependency between those. So it's once you get the overview and like you see the names of the projects, their dependency, you see their importance, and then you can like narrow down maybe um, what's the most interesting for you, and then I don't know, you can just easier identify where you could help. So now I was just thinking out loud, like if something like this would actually help. Um, because so far my approach was like, if you want to contribute, then first let's do some interview, like um, where you want to contribute. Is it like documentation? Is it code? Uh, what can you offer to the project? And I'm gonna give you some ideas where to go. And like, should the presentation cover two different paths, like how to research for project where you can help, or should we like openly advise, like if you want to do first contribution, we don't have any clear path for you, but join our Slack, join our how to contribute channel, and let's talk. Maybe that's the way. Yeah. um I think it's something to think about. We anyway have 3 minutes until the end of the stream, so let's not continue. Let's just give it a thought. What's the best approach here? So let me go back to the initial setup of the screen again. October, now we have a hackathon. We are it's like month-long hackathon. If you want to join it, we also have a conference in November. um, and I'd like to like clearly say thank you to our platinum sponsors. So IBM, Ably, WSO2, and Solus. So four platinum sponsors that um, already covered our costs of swags and prizes for hackathon and some marketing, which is awesome. Thanks a lot. Um, and like, do you have some more questions? Like, Ganesh, are you still here? Any doubts about what I said about Java projects, or was I too late to answer a question and you left already? Tick tock, tick tock. Where are you based, by the way? Like, we have three people watching. At least I can see just three people. I'm based in Poland, in the middle of Europe. But Poland is so important that I guess you already know where it is located, or not. So who's watching me now at the end of the stream? Say your name, show your name, unless you're not. Sergio, you assume that everyone knows where Barcelona is, um, which probably makes sense because it would be strange if somebody doesn't know Barcelona, especially a football club from Barcelona. And I'm not talking about Espanyol. And Solvik. Hey, mate. So we have humans from Spain and India and Poland. Anyone from Africa or like further east? Like, I mean, east of India? I mean, Sergio, maybe you wrote Barcelona instead of Spain because you don't feel like it's Spain. You feel like it's Catalonia. No politics on tech streams. Hey. um, so two people from India, two people from Spain, and one in the middle of the way from Poland. Thank you a lot for watching the stream. As usual, the next stream is today in Europe and Africa's afternoon, 4 p.m. UTC time zone. And just as a reminder, I'm gonna be here live with Jonas Lagoni, and we're gonna talk about Modelina project and Glee project that are under AsyncAPI organization. So thanks a lot. See you until next stream. Arrivederci. Or how they say in Inglorious Bastards, Arrivederci.